welcome back to Talking DS. My name is Susan Sarek and I would like to welcome today Julia Spencer. Julia, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
She's originally from New Zealand. She's a mum of 3 kids and she has been juggling working at First Cry as well. And I'm sure many of you would have heard of First Cry being the go-to online retailer for parents. And along with her experience as a busy mum, Julia gives a great perspective and expert tip, especially during that hectic back to school season, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about today how, I've got 4 kids and they range in ages between 6, 10, 13 and almost 16.
You had to think about that.
I did have to think about that for a second.
So
I have 3.
Yeah, I have 3. So I have turning 7, turning 6 and turning 3.
Okay.
So quite close together.
Okay.
2 are in school and 1 will be going to nursery. So,
All right. So between the 2 of us, we cover quite a wide range of ages.
Yeah.
So I basically wanted to talk to you about how you've got the different back to school items, the typical back to school items that you need to buy. Which ones perhaps do you want to spend more money on? Which ones do you perhaps want to spend less money on? Which ones, what kind of things do you look for when you're buying a product? What do you look for in a water bottle when buying it for your kids?
So I think it varies between ages. So when, and even, it really depends because you're not just buying drink bottles for when they're going to school. You start giving a child a drink bottle from when they're, when they're quite small, like sort of 1.5, you tend to move away from like a sippy cup to like perhaps a Camelback or something with a straw and a flip top kind of thing. And so then you vary between the ones that are insulated and not insulated. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really use the insulated ones until they started going to nursery. And then, of course, you then graduate onto, the sort of standard size Camelback one,
So what
that
size are we talking about?
I actually don't know what the ml is.
I think these ones are about 500 mil.
I think that's like a 250. We're experts, guys. We're experts.
I'm going to check, but I think this one's about 500 mil.
I think it's about 300, but it's around that. Anyways, we're not giving ourselves much credibility here. But basically, like the smaller size, and then you go to the next size. So obviously, this size here is too big for you, sort of like. So the smaller one, that size, you want the kids to be able to like lift it and pick it up and things like that. So, you've got mums who are buying the smaller one, they're giving it to the child when they're sitting at the high chair and things like that.
Correct.
So. You start with those and then you end up sort of to the bigger ones once the kids are going to school for a longer duration. So, FS1, they're only at school usually till about 12 or 1 o'clock. And then when they get older, year 2, year 3, everything, they're there till 3 o'clock. So they need a bigger drink bottle, which is why I personally have now started buying this sort of size. But my son, I'm still buying the smaller one.
Okay.
In terms of what to look for, I feel like it's very personal on what you like, but most importantly, it's something that your child is going to drink water from.
Yeah.
So you can buy whatever you want, but if your kid is not going to drink water from it, like it defeats the purpose.
Correct.
Right. So, and there's this whole thing, like, especially when you're with your first child, you buy the things that you like. Mm-hmm. So I liked the pastel colors and, the nice designs, and it was personalized and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, which is lovely. But then I learned later on that, like, the kid has to like it. So we now have, the unicorns and the Frozen and the Superman and the Hot Wheels and the things that the children like. So that's sort of more when they get older, but that's my personal experience. Then in terms of like the straw versus the not straw, again, it depends what you like, what you don't like. Yes, the ones with the straw and the rubber bits and everything, they need cleaning a lot.
Yeah.
They do mold. It's not a secret.
Yeah, no.
It's everywhere. You can't deny it. But if you're on top of it and you're putting them in the dishwasher and you're like scrubbing them out, they're fine. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I have tended to move more away from that because I just find like with 3 kids and like
it's frustrating.
It's annoying. Yeah. It's annoying. So I do tend to like the ones that are just the what's the flip top?
Yeah,
That's what we're calling it. It just
simpler.
opens and it's sort of the pour mechanism. Okay. But that doesn't work for little kids.
No,
they need,
it really doesn't.
And I do now almost only buy insulated.
Okay. I have to agree with that. With the insulated part, I definitely agree with. I don't think water bottles is something necessarily that you want to invest too much money in just because, especially in the first week of school. The amount of times my kids have lost, and I know my kids are watching, have lost their water bottles in the first week of school It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it's always, you spend so much money on that first water bottle back to school, and then it's like, well, we've lost it. We can't find it because for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then you have to buy another water bottle. So that either doubles your cost or you just go for a cheaper one. So
yeah. Yeah, I think you sort of, this is very true. And the key is to have many water bottles at home, because you don't want to be stuck like the morning of school and need to send your child with a drink bottle and it's not there.
Correct.
Because you will get a call from the school.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But I think another thing for me is I can afford to have my kids slightly smaller water bottle just because I know there are water fountains at the school. So
that's something you need to
you need to factor in. Does your school offer that water bottle, like the water? And are the kids
I actually don't even know this about my school.
Oh, really? Well, there you go. There's something you need to find out. What do you look for in a lunchbox?
Okay, so I loved the Omi box. For me, the Omi box was like the gold standard of lunchbox.
Yeah, that's like the Rolls Royce of lunchboxes.
Yeah, it was the Rolls Royce of lunchboxes for the longest time. And to be fair, I still have the very first Omi boxes that I bought back when my first child went to nursery, and she's turning 7, and she went to nursery when she was like 2.
Okay.
So I still have them, and they're still, in use.
Yeah.
They're still in operation. And I love them. I think they're great. I like that you can use the little insulated thing in or out. They have stood the test of time, being dropped, multiple times for sure. But I just feel like now it's a lot of money for a lunchbox when there's so many other options on the market that are equally as good. And especially now, I think, again, when I bought all the first set of things for my first child, I only had one child going to nursery, right? I was like, I'm putting about like 200 dirhams for a lunchbox, whatever. Exactly. Now I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
Like that's like, it's 3 of everything. So it gets very expensive. So, and of course, then you've still got the factor of, are they going to lose it? Are they going to drop it? Are they going to break it? Like what's,
But I feel like they're less likely to lose a lunchbox.
Yes,
so
because it's more of a set time. They said they have the lunch that goes back in the bag.
And when it comes to food, they will not lose their food.
Yes,
right.
Fair.
But it does happen.
Yeah, it does. It does happen.
But I'm more likely to spend more money on the lunchbox because I feel like I'm gonna have it for more than a year, right? More likely. And I have the same with some brands, certain brands I have had for more than a year because I've spent a bit more money perhaps on that. And,
I think so. I think personally what I always do is I tend to have like sort of 3 or 4 lunchboxes per child. I know that sounds a bit excessive, but it keeps it different for them. So, they'll have this lunchbox for this type of food, and then and different lunchboxes suit different type of food. Like if you're sending hot meals, like you need a box that has like the insulated compartments and that doesn't leak and that is a certain type of thing. If you're sending other type of food that's not so, spill prone, I guess you could say, you can use a different type, more like the bento type boxes. There's a lot of factors. Like now, like it's very popular, the stainless steel.
Yes, I was going to say, I've got a stainless steel one for this year, and I'm going to try it. I've never had a stainless steel one.
I actually still don't have one.
Okay, well, I'll let you know how I go.
But they are becoming very popular.
But it looks great because I love how it's curved, right? Okay. Always my beef with lunchboxes was it's really hard to like clean it because it starts getting the corners, right? Whereas the stainless steel will have really rounded corners, so it's going to be a lot easier to clean.
Okay.
Obviously, you can all chuck it in the dishwasher, and I don't feel like I'm putting any plastic in the dishwasher, which is great. So I'm going to go for one of my kids is going to have a stainless steel one. And we'll see how we go. Yeah.
So the lunchboxes, these are becoming really popular, especially like with First Cry releasing their collection of the Bonfino.
Exactly. And you can take out the silicone inside as well. So you can
it's all dishwasher friendly. Even the seals and all the silicone is all dishwasher friendly.
Exactly. So
and then the bigger bento box with the
the insulated thing in there.
I got 3 of those this year as well, which are very nice.
We'll swap notes.
I'm still test running them, but so far so good.
That's good to hear.
So yeah, and like they're like half the price.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the thing. Like, why would you spend more? Yeah, and especially now, like school fees are going up. Obviously, rent's going up.
Still wine to buy. So
Exactly. There are some necessities that
there
we
are
need.
there are some things we still need to put money aside for.
So yeah, it's good to know that there are more
Options
out there these
and
days.
that just because the price is different doesn't mean the quality is any less.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just all about, exchanging notes and and I think this is what today is really good for, to be able to talk about, like I've gone through so many different products, being lunch boxes and water bottles and everything. So it's been
and labeling things. Oh my God, this is like another big topic.
Yeah.
What are the best labels?
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's go on to the labels. So what are the best labels? Is it the stickers? Is it the stamps? Is it,
again, it depends what the item is. For me, like the mine stamp for anything fabric. It's just the best. You set it up. Actually, I sort of now I have 3 stamps, one for each child, and I just stamp. Like that way it's all set up because you put the little
exactly. I know what you mean.
The
rubber thing in there and
the letters,
yeah, and the little symbols as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I just have them set up, and then you just stamp everything. And then for lunchboxes, I have always just used Stuck On You. I have tried a couple of other ones, but the Stuck On You, and even Stuck On You have like the little shoe ones that go inside the shoes. Oh. They're really good. I was like, wasn't sure about them, but I got them last year, and they're still in the same shoes.
Interesting.
And that again, you don't think it's going to be very durable, but it is.
No.
So and because it also shows them like left and right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I go through shoes so much.
Yes.
That
shoes. Yeah.
Even if I put a label in there, it's gonna. Yeah. There's absolutely no point.
And there's a lot of brands now that are doing like the
personalization.
Which means you don't have to label things. Yeah. Like you have SMAC, you have little IA.
That's true.
You have a couple of other ones I can't off the top of my head, but they do it, and it is really good.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that's worth looking into if you just want like a one-stop, like get it labeled and everything. And SMAC do labels as well.
Okay.
And the same theme, especially if you like it all to match the same theme as your bottle and your box and like bag.
Yeah. And they do like the princesses.
The set stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And people seem to quite like this brand as well.
Okay. All right. Well, what about shoes?
Shoes.
While we were talking about shoes.
Look, I just buy the same shoes over and over.
Okay.
There's like one pair of shoes that I buy for the kids, and I just buy them in all the sizes whenever they come on offer.
Is this like a certain style or a certain brand?
Yeah, it's a brand and a style. Like
okay.
It's, what is it called? I posted.
Yeah, I want to know.
It's the Adidas one with the Velcro. I feel it's called like Tensor or something like this.
Yeah, I
that's
think
the
I know
model
which one
name.
you're talking about.
I post it all the time. How do you not know?
You're on the spot. That's why.
Anyways,
it's the just a slip on, right?
Pop up. Just put a little pop up.
Yeah, that's true. Whereas I've in the past always bought my kids when they were younger the Nike Flex.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's also a slip-on shoe.
Yeah. Like
super easy in the morning when they have to run out the door.
Yeah, no, I have the white Velcro because our school is like white. It depends if you're in white or black. So we have it has to be all white shoes, and so I just buy those, and I just buy them in like multiple quantities.
Yeah.
We just have like boxes of them.
Yeah,
but if you ever do that, I did have a case where I bought them and I was sent like the wrong size in the box. So when you do get sent it, open it. Look inside the box if you're going to stockpile shoes.
That's true. I suppose make sure you have a dedicated area or something because you forget. Like I've got 4 kids, so I stockpile shoes and I forget sometimes. I'm like, oh no, and they've already grown out of that one that I've pre-bought.
That has happened. But that tends to be what I do.
Yeah,
and they come on offer like a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Offer, so it's worth getting them when they are.
Yeah. On offer.
Especially on First Cry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, while we're talking about First Cry, the delivery.
I know, don't you feel like they camp outside your house?
Oh, I really do. And it's just, I don't understand how quickly sometimes these products get delivered.
I don't understand it either, to be honest, and I work with them, so.
Just side note.
Yeah.
We've spoken about most
things.
Backpacks.
Now, I feel like I'm not much of an expert on backpacks. I feel like you have more to say about backpacks.
Yeah, I do have a bit to say about backpacks. My personal favourite especially when my kids were younger, was Pottery Barn. Okay. That was my go-to because I felt like they were very... durable. Yes, they were extremely durable. They're expensive, but I'm the kind of person that I would never pay full price. I'm sorry. but it's just what I wonder what
The shock horror of that statement.
I would wait for the sales during the year, and I'll go, okay, I know I'm going to need one in 6 months' time, so I'm going to buy it when it's 70% off, and then wait and use it when I need it. But what I have found with the Pottery Barn, they wash really well. The kids love them. You can throw, like, my kids have literally dragged them across the floor, and they have put up a lot. So my personal favorite but they have a lot of Disney characters. Like, they're good for perhaps younger kids.
Yeah.
I actually did buy these from First Cry.
Yeah, these ones are good. These ones are moving quite well.
I'm really happy with these, and the price point of these
is incredible.
You would never be able to get this even on like
I can't remember how much they're about 47 dirhams or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
They're around like
plus add DS10, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Plus add the discount code, and you'll get a great deal for it. Always promoting. No, but these are really good. Like, I tell you what, the padding on the straps, the padding on the back, I was really impressed. I was honestly really impressed. So my kids are getting to that stage now where they don't want princesses or superheroes or the rest of it. So these are nice, plain, simple backpacks that they're not going to be embarrassed with. So
so for the little kids, I used to always buy the Skip Hop.
Okay,
I used to buy the Skip Hop character ones, and then now we've just recently got a couple of new ones. I had to get something for George, and Sophie wanted something different, and I bought from Fab and Funky.
Okay.
Because I just let them choose what they want.
Yep.
Okay. The prices are so good. I was like, okay, even if they have a couple of school bags each, like, it was like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I let them go through, and they chose, and they were all sort of around like 50 to 60, 70 dirham.
Oh, wow.
And that was really, and so far, like, again, the quality has been really like very good, like decent.
Yeah.
So let's see how they last, but I'm not expecting them to be, to fall apart, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good to know. All right, so last one. Anything for stationery?
I don't really do stationery yet.
That's true, because your kids are perhaps a bit younger, whereas
I don't have to do stationery yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm a bit on the fence with stationery. Like, sometimes I'm happy to pay to buy the good ones, the good branded pencils, pens, whatever.
Don't they just lose everything anyway?
But that's the thing, they lose it, or like they break it, or something happens to it, and I just get frustrated. It's like, no, you know what, I'm just going to buy you the cheapest one. And at home, like, I have them the nice sets and everything that they can use at home, but for school, I honestly, I don't think there's much point in spending too much money on stationery.
I mean, I'm always finding the caps of felt tip pens at home, and I just get so irritated.
Yes, yeah, and the glue, the lids on the glue, I'm finding everywhere, and it just.
I'm not so much. We're not so far into that at this point.
Okay,
just we don't have a stationery list hasn't been sent home to my knowledge.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, to my knowledge.
All right. Yeah.
It might be with my nanny though, so who knows.
All right.
What's your one thing that you can't live without? Like, what's your one thing that you would, if you like one thing?
But I think that depends on the child.
Okay, fair.
Depends on the child because each child has got a different thing, right? So for my oldest, I'd say backpack is the most important. Like, for a teen, I feel like she's going to be. It's going to be the hardest work, right? Whereas my younger kids, they're like, yeah, it's fine. Like, the colour's fine. Yeah, no worries. But some things, it varies with age. What about you?
I still think it's the mind stamp. I think it's just like, I
That's
think
what you need. Yeah, but for your age group, absolutely. Yeah. I do.
Just stamping it everywhere.
Yeah, all the clothes. And absolutely.
Yeah, that's my one thing I like the most.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So I think that pretty much wraps up back to school. Thank you, Julia, for giving those tips. I think they will be super helpful for everyone listening and getting ready for the back to school season. Julia, thank you so much for all the tips. I think they will be super helpful for everyone doing all the back to school shopping. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to mention?
No, just make sure I think it's worth checking out the new collection on First Cry, which is the Bonfino collection. It's the new one. Really, really, the products are
value for money.
Very value for money. And the quality is
it's
really, really good.
Yeah.
And of course use DS10.
Code DS10. All right, of course. So if you want to check out some of the back to school deals Julia did mention, so like she said, be sure to check out First Cry and use the code DS10 for an extra 10% off. Thank you again, Julia. Really appreciate your time. And as usual, keep stretching those dirhams. See you next time.